Hello, everyone. How is it going today? How's it going, everybody? Awesome. I've changed my music. I don't know if you've noticed or not. It's a little bit more angry, but I think it's better. I think it suits me and my personality a little bit better. But if you don't like it, let me know, and I will make fun of you because it's awesome. I like heavy metal, and that's that. Anyways, we're what are we doing today? Today we're doing the schema thing again. Last time we kind of got all into getting the nodes and everything all figured out, and I think that's where we kind of left off. We kind of I wanted to keep going, but unfortunately I had a meeting. So I think where we left off was that we were trying to put the node that represented each item from the what was it? Yeah, from each item in the schema. If you remember right, we go to the schema docs, the Jupyter developers. We can go to the docs here. We can see that each one of these things, which takes forever to load, has like all this stuff, right? So we want to get the full node because I think what we wanted to do was we wanted to be able to take the node and we wanted to be able to get its children, right? Hey, Timothy Jacobs, how you doing? We wanted to be able to get all the children have assets or have access to them because I think as we found last time, like when you're looking at something like let's find something in here like a drug, right? So the domain, so this that's not a good yes. So drug is a property, right? And it can be part of one of these things, right? I think that's what domain includes. I keep forgetting what that means. Yes, so these types can be part of drug, but it can also be it can be represented in these things as well. Maybe there's a slightly easier one to kind of demonstrate this, but anyways, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. So like programmed, I don't know, job posting. So like employment unit is the property that can be part of a job posting, but it can also include, so the employment unit can be represented by an organization, if that makes sense. It's kind of, and so what I wanted to be able to do was I wanted to be able to say, okay, so we're going to create, I think the end game here is we're going to create patterns, all right? And we're going to take those patterns and we're going to say, okay, so a job posting pattern can have all of these fields in them, but we need to know what those fields represent as well. So we can say, okay, so now go to the base salary node and find out what it can be. And because we need to know if is it a number, is it an integer, can it be represented by other types and things? It's pretty complicated. So we're kind of at the point where I'm trying to get this gigantic piece of PHP, this giant object, right? This patterns, I'm calling it patterns. It's probably not what we should call it. And I think we got to the point where we were adding the node and then we were looping through each one and we were basically saying, okay, so the node ID, so for example, job posting, we're going to put the full node in there so we have access to it. Then we're going to figure out what its properties can be, and the properties are going to be domain includes, I think. Right, and then what it can be a value for. So then we have this like cross lookup thing. That's basically what I'm trying to do. So, so we got this. So we're creating this array. So we wanted to check to see if the array existed, because the other thing too is that as we parse through this stuff, there might be a reference in one of the properties or like one of the domain includes or one of the range includes that we haven't got to yet. Like we haven't got to that ID yet. So we have to be able to add it to the patterns array and then keep moving, right? And so these are these things, right? And then so we're saying if domain includes, and then so a domain includes could be an array of items or it could be a single item, which is super fun and easy to use. And same with range includes. So I think it looks like we may have left off, because I haven't touched this code in a week now. It looks like we may have left off just working on the domain include. So I have a breakpoint here. So let's see what happens when I run it. So let's get over here, see where the patterns end up. So patterns, there's 2,855 patterns. So we have a schema, we have a node, which represents the class for this particular thing. Let's find one, say for example, creative work, right? So the node is here. The node has got a bunch of stuff. Node can be a value for, so a creative work can be a value for a citation, or it can be based on a creative work. A creative work property has citation. These are all the properties that can be part of it. So then what we can do is we can loop through each of the properties, and we can say, okay, now go give me the schema citation from this patterns array, and we'll see what can go in that. So I think we're getting close. I think we're getting very close. I'm pretty happy with this so far. But the only thing we have to do is we have to figure this out in here now. So if it's an array, I think let's just work through this logic here now and see. So what I want to do is I want to get in here. So what is it? That's an empty void. So I'm gonna put a breakpoint in there, and we're gonna see. And there we go. So the for each, so if array, so domain includes is going to be an array. So it's std class organization schema blah 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 blah. Okay, so. So I think what we just need to do is this part. So we need to check to see, does the class list exist? So if it doesn't, if class ID is in the array, if it doesn't exist, we're going to add it to the patterns array, right? Okay, so if it doesn't exist, okay, so in this case, the class doesn't exist in the pattern, so we need to prepare it for to be used later. So we're going to do that, and if it does exist, we're going to just basically pop that or push that onto the end. I think that's all we need to do, because the logic up here is going to take the node and it's going to add the node to any existing entries that maybe have these two items or one of those items, but doesn't have the node yet. So I think that might be the end of our logic. Famous last words. 5 minutes in, and the stream's done, which is not at all okay. So now we've got 2,855 things. They should all have references. So properties, there's none in there. So some of these don't have that. Okay, that's interesting. So the node is always going to be here. Can be value of, properties of, so on and so forth. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to stop this, and we're done. Thanks for hanging out with me. Just joking. That's so funny. Maybe what I'll do is I'm going to, I haven't committed any of this yet. I'm wondering if maybe I should start doing that, because I'm pretty happy with this logic here. Oh, this song is like going. I like that. Okay. Chat's quiet today. You're all quiet today. How is everybody? What's going on? Come on now. I see you hanging out in the chat, I think. Gemma Serve, Carrie Webb Dev, Bad Dude Court. Come on, say hi. If you're here, say hi, please. I feel so lonely. Okay. All right. Hello. There you are. There you are. Just waking up. Cool. All I have to do is shame folks, and then perfect input for AOF in Toronto tonight. What's AOF? AOF. Is it a band? Who's AOF? Why do I? Alexis on fire? Oh, nice. Nice. Do you live in Toronto? Sweet. Very cool. I lived in Toronto for a while. Kev's here. Kev's here. Stream's over. Hi, Kev. Hamilton. Nice. You know what? In Hamilton, I saw Ozzy Osbourne play in Hamilton a long time ago.
Right.
It was.
It's Kev XP.
Oh, he's here. It was amazing. It was amazing. He was playing with. He had Zach Wild. That's when he was playing with Zach Wild, and he was phenomenal. So good. And if you've noticed, I don't think it does a double call out anymore. So there we go. Fixed it. Morning, Paul. Morning, Al Puis Original. I'm I'm never gonna say that right ever. Anyways, yeah, saw Ozzy Osbourne in Hamilton. Phenomenal show. The best part, the funniest part of the whole thing was that yes, Kev, we're just talking about the metal and how it's making it better. Let me know if it's too loud. Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure if he's touring much anymore because you know he's like 1,000, but he is also immortal, so he's got that going for him. No, that's a good name. It's my problem, not yours, man. Anyways, so I saw Ozzy in Hamilton. It was phenomenal. He sounded just like every recording I've ever heard of Ozzy. The best part was like he'd be in the middle of a song and he'd be like rocking out and there'd be like a guitar solo or something, right? And he'd be like sitting there, and then he would Zach Wilde would be playing and he'd just run over and just kind of bump him gently, and that was Ozzy's cue to go back to the microphone and sing. And he did that like the whole concert. It was great. It's so funny. But he was so good. It was so good, yeah. I mean, apparently he's taken so many drugs and he has those tremors and stuff that like there's no neurological reason for it. They were just like, you did too many. So that might be a bit of an urban myth. I don't know. But I love Ozzy Osbourne. He's phenomenal. And Zach Wilde. That guy's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, so I wish I could play the metal that I like on here because it's, you know, copyright. Get it all taken down. Anyways, enough from this shenaniganery. Okay, so we got this, I think, going for the most part. So this is the time, I think, where we can start trying to build out some patterns. I think. Now, this is going to be a rabbit hole because there's like, can we do it? Yes, we can. Which reminds me of Can You Dig It? Tribe Called Quest. And, because we can take all of this data. Like now that we have this data, we can you know, recursively go through it all and start building out these very complicated patterns. Let's try one with the job posting to see what that looks like. Because the thing is, like one node can be represented by like a number of different types of things. So there's some decisions that need to be made. And I don't know where the best place to make these are. From a code standpoint, we can just build things. We can just build it, right? And then we can check the schema and do all that. But from a like a practical, like pedantic point of view of like, or sorry, pragmatic point of view is like, when you insert a pattern, do you want to have every potential iteration of every possible thing? Maybe not. But let's see. So let's start going through the patterns here. So what I've done is I've sorted the patterns, but I don't think we necessarily need to sort them. I'm not gonna sort them. All right, we'll just do this. So we're just gonna work on the job posting right now. So this is the ID. So this is the definition of our thing, words for words. That's the thing I'm trying to say. Nice. Sorry. This music's so much better than my other stuff. Oh, okay. All right. So the first thing that I want to do is we're gonna create a variable var to store our eventual pattern. Oh, there he is. Pattern. You know, you keep talking like that, I'm gonna put you on the VIP list, and it's gonna announce you every time you show up. You know, you keep doing that. I'm just saying. Shucks. Eventual pattern markup. Okay, so we're gonna store that there. We're just gonna do that. Okay, loop the properties. Okay, so then let's do this. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna do this. I wanna right. So let's create a bunch of variables. Okay, I'm gonna hide that. So in here, I'm gonna drop the thing in here. So this should only trigger if schema job posting. What? Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of hate the Yoda condition. Does everyone know what I'm talking about when I say Yoda condition? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. Well, I get the reasoning behind it. Okay, I'm going on a tangent here. So the Yoda condition is text before variable. Yes. I know, I'm the same way. I have done it like this since forever. Now the reasoning behind it I think makes sense. So if you were to do this, right? If, oh, caps lock. If, you know, if you wanted to check if some var is equal to true, equal to 1, or whatever, equal to this string, right? You could do that. Now, the reasoning behind it is if you accidentally did that, you would, I think you're wrong, Kev. I think it's probably discouraged, but the standards are still, they still yell at you about it. I don't think people really necessarily care, but it's in the standards. So like this is what it's supposed to fix, because there is like this weird thing that like if you were to assign that in there instead of doing it, you know, that's supposed to fix stuff. This fires weird. This won't fire an error the way you expect it would, right? So if you were to do it this way, you're gonna get like a fatal that's gonna say, you can't assign that to that, whatever. But yeah. Oh no, I believe you, Kev. There's been lots of talk around this. This is a pretty this is one of those rules that I personally, I mean, I just kind of went along with it for years and years, and I don't care. It's a coding standard. I don't care, but it bugs me a little bit to have to do it. But it's just like muscle memory at this point. But anyway, so that's the reason behind it. So this will absolutely fail if you do it, but this won't. Right? So you can't shoot yourself in the foot. But anyways, that's why that exists, and I think it's dumb. And it's old, and it's probably outdated and needs to be changed. Just like the coding standards for JavaScript, for the whitespace standards for JavaScript. Personally, don't think we need to make it different than every other JavaScript thing on the planet, but it is what it is. Cool. Anyways, enough of that. Okay, cool. So I fixed that for coding standards. I'm going to run this debug, and we're going to take a look. No, they aren't. The coding standards are, I mean, they are for core, but they are also for like the WPCS stuff that applies to plugins, that applies to lots of work. There are tons of people that base all of their work on those coding standards. When I was at 10up, it was like you had to follow the coding standards. If you didn't, you know, especially on the PHP side, right? Yeah, it is, but it's like not using like Prettier or something. It's like how much harder is it to look at code that is not formatted, right? Stuff like that. Anyways, I mean, we could devolve this stream into an argument about coding standards and, you know, blah 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 blah. But you're right. Well, I mean, if for your plugin, Kevin, you can do whatever you want. But if you're working at an agency, or say you're doing work for WordPress.com VIP, which a lot of agencies do, you know, those standards are there, and those are the standards that people follow. The code samples are going to be said. No, you're right. You're right. You're right, Kevin. That is why I brought it up. You're totally right. I'm like, I want to rant about it, but don't disagree with me. All right, Kev. You win. No, you're awesome. Okay, cool. So totally right. What was I saying? Oh, now I'm all like, oh, Kevin got me. Kevin's the best. Okay, so anyways, coding standards are annoying. Oh, see, not only did he mic drop on me, but then he turned out the lights on me. It's like a add insult to injury. You're the best, Kev. Kevin, are you coming to WordCamp US this year? Is anyone going to WordCamp US? I'm going. I will be there. Will anyone else be there? If you're there, say so, because I want to hang out. Oh, nice. Okay, two, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, Kev's coming from Thailand. Kev, you're going to Manila though. I'm assuming you're going to go to WordCamp Asia. That's not too far for you. I'd imagine. Oh, that sucks, bad dude. Nice. I've applied to speak. Oh, the speaker applications are open for WordCamp Asia. If you're interested, they've been open for a little while. I submitted a couple things, hopefully. But anyways, so Timothy and Mr. Anthony Skelton, we should absolutely make sure we connect at WordCamp US. I'm gonna put out that Calendly link that I do all the time. If you guys want to like formally sit down and chat about stuff, we can absolutely do that. Oh, no way. What agency was it? Look at the wrong chat. She was looking up here. That's very cool. I'm there. A linchpin. Nice. Okay, cool. I will be there for Contributor Day. Yes. I just signed up for it the other day, I think. So yeah, I will for sure be there. I'll be there for the showcase day, which is an interesting thing. One of my colleagues, Nick Diego, he was just announced he's going to be presenting something there. So yeah, we should absolutely sit down and grab a coffee and a chat and do some code fun stuff. I'm in. Sounds great. Okay, cool. So let's look at this. So I'm going to create a variable to store the eventual pattern name. So what I need to do is I want to get all of this stuff. I kind of started this before, but things are pattern details. Things are different now. We're going to take a pattern details. And so we need a pattern name, right? We need a pattern name. So we need the pattern type. I don't know what I'm using pattern type for. So title, description, okay, and so this is an interesting one. What is the title? Title. Okay. Okay, so now at this point, I think this is where we actually want to start looping things. So we're going to look for, we're going to get in here, and we're going to, it's not going to be that, it's going to be pattern, I think, what do we call it, properties? I think we called it properties, pattern, it's an array, right? Pattern, for each pattern. Properties. So we should be able to, so in here we should be able to go properties, right, as property. Let's do that. Okay, so if we get down to here now, we should have some names. So let me just refresh this and we'll kind of work through it here. Where's my thing? There it is. Okay, now that's boop. So, okay, so in here, so what do we got? Title is job posting, type name is job posting, and then so title, pattern name is schema job posting. So, okay, that makes sense. Because we want to, okay, cool. So that's going to be that. So now, if we look through the properties, okay, so we need to, so we want to get the property definition from the from the raw schema, which is, this is where it fell down last time. So I think we can do this. So let's grab this. So the property def, and then I'm just going to does anyone know if, like, am I just doing this wrong? Like, do I have to have code on my breakpoint? I do. Like, I have to have code on the breakpoint because I'm always like wanting to. Why is this yelling at me? Oh, okay, cool. I'm always wanting to like see what the value of that is, so I always drop some random line of code. I don't know. Am I just doing that wrong? Like, can I? If I just drop, let's just test this. I'm gonna stop asking questions. I'm just gonna test it. So I have it break on the echo. So if I do this, come back over here. Unclosed sign line 76. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, I broke something. Well, I break. Hide that again. That's the problem. Music's chunking along here. Okay, let me just check this. Ooh, undefined. Okay, property patterns. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, sorry. Make sure that's good. That's good. Okay, jump over here. Debug. Run this again. So I get into the loop. Cool. Okay, so it stops on the echo, which I think is done. I want it to stop somewhere so I can see what this is. So the pattern def is this array. And it's got, So what is the property? So schema unit, schema employment unit. So then you can see its properties are none and can be valued for. So what is all this part? Well, there's a problem here because this clearly needs to, this is not, So domain includes, it, so it's a, this is where things fall off the rails. So it has a range includes, so that means it can be, that should be added, that should be in there. So it can be represented by a job, a schema organization. So why is it not getting in there? Okay. Let's put a breakpoint in. So I'm going to say, I'm going to edit this breakpoint. It's going to be literally what it is implying. I feel like I've cancel. Okay, so we're going to put that in there. I'm going to stop this. I want to see why it's not getting. I have to turn debugging back on for that to work. So range includes, right? Oh wait, did I? Oh, I had the wrong one, that's why, okay. So I want this in here. Okay, refresh. Range includes, okay, so that it's not an array, so it should fall into this, right? So we should get in there, okay. And let's see, does it go in here or does it go in here? Okay, so some patterns. What is this thing called? Deployment unit? Deployment unit? Node? So it's an okay. Range includes schema organization. Range includes schema organization. Okay, so I think there's something I'm missing in here. I need to set that. Patterns, many properties. See what range includes is. Where's range includes? So at this point, patterns, there should be a pattern schema organization in here somewhere. There it is. Okay, that's cool. Why is it not getting added in here? Patterns, range includes ID, schema organization. Wait. Oh. Wait. Am I looking at the wrong thing here? This is range includes, right? A range includes can be represented by, can be valued for. So, like, where is this? Where is this going? This should be. that thing called? Employment unit. Can be valued for. It doesn't have any. Am I doing that wrong? What's going on here? Is it getting overridden? I don't know why it'd be getting overridden. Data, man, data. That is crazy. Okay, so let's just skip through all of this. Oh, I don't need those. All right, jump into range includes employment unit. So in here, schema pattern. So this is range includes is got two things: schema, job posting, text, pattern. 37 properties. Okay. Then property def is what's property? Employment unit. There's something up with my logic here. I don't understand. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it doesn't seem to want to. Huh. I feel like my logic's all screwy here. So if range includes, which would be true, which we know is true, right? And then if it's an array, which in this case I don't think it, you know what? No, it wasn't an array, right? So this all gets skipped. So we're in here now. So I'm going to edit this breakpoint. I'm going to grab this and add another breakpoint inside of breakpoint. Edit breakpoint. I'm going to put the same logic in. I'm going to rerun this. Okay, so that's okay. So then it jumps in there. So at this point, I'm going to put that in. So if it doesn't exist, which it doesn't, I wonder, seems a little silly because if it doesn't exist, it should add that, and then shouldn't it just put ID in there? Or because it, all right, let me think this through. So if patterns doesn't have this as an ID, then we need to, we're creating an entire entry for it. So we can start with that entry. This should be doing the same thing. Okay, let's put, where did ID come from? What is? This is where we ended up last week. Okay, so range includes ID, right? Range includes ID is date time. That's not what I want. Sorry, let me. I'm This will be worth it. Trust me. I gotta get this going here. Okay, so I'm just gonna refresh this. So if I come back through, range includes, awesome. So it steps in. So now it's in here. Okay, so range ID, range includes ID. Range includes is a class. Schema organization. So what I think I'm doing wrong is what's ID? ID is employment unit, but we don't care about employment unit. That's the one that we're messing with here. Right? So then we step into here. That didn't do the stepping properly. Well, you gotta be like that, man. What is this? A breakpoint ID. This is checking the main ID. So to stop this and reload it. Is that the what the deuce? Is that the what the deuce I have to do? All right, we can jump past that one. So in here, range includes ID. So if this doesn't exist, we need to create an entry for it. But then what we also want to do is, I think we're adding it to the wrong. I think we're adding it to the wrong thing. I think we need to switch these. Right? Right? So what's ID? ID is employment unit. Employment unit is the thing that we're processing right now. And we want to add I think ID is what we want to look for. All right. I'm just going to try it. I think this is the thing that we're looking for. Well, clearly they're backwards or something. So wait a minute. So node, if pattern exists, then we're going to add the node to it. Otherwise, we're going to start processing the individual things. And so what we're trying to do here is the ID processing becomes the top level, because that I think is the problem. All right, so bear with here. I think we need to check if ID is in there, right? And if ID is not in there, then we're going to add ID, right? I think that's what we need to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push onto ID range includes. And just like that. I think that's what we want to have happen. Which means all of my logic is backwards. Domain includes. What? No. Let's try it again. And we'll see where we end up. Okay, so boom, boom. So in here, our pattern is, what are we doing? Oh, I need to get inside the def. Oh, no, sorry, wrong button. Property def. Ooh. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so I have to adjust this logic because I was trying to do things in the wrong place. So this needs to go in here, and this needs to go in here, right? That needs to go in there. Then this needs to go in here, and this needs to just be ID. If anyone sees anything blatantly stupid with what I'm doing, please call it out, because this is in the weeds. And I think I have to do the same. I have to do the same in here. So I don't care. I want to make sure that ID doesn't, if it doesn't exist, then we're gonna, wait. We're gonna put ID in here, right? Then we're gonna push ID in there. All right, and then we're going to push that onto ID. And it's going to be the same logic as it is down here. ID, it's going to be ID and patterns. So if it's an array, for each range includes as class, in this case, key exist, ID, patterns, it'll be that'll be ID, and this will be ID, and then we're going to push on class properties. Oh yeah, no. You're yes, absolutely. This is not dry code at all. There's a lot of similarities that we're doing. Like we're doing a lot of this. Like it's the same mapping, just with some different things. So I absolutely agree that making this a little bit more dry is going to be the step that I want to take. This is also one giant hook. I don't want to do all this in a giant hook. I want to have separation of concerns and do all kinds of stuff. But what I really want to have happen is make sure this logic is nice and solid, and then I can start abstracting. Because basically, processing domain includes and range includes are exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Is it an array? Yes, no. If it is an array, process the array. So on and so forth. So I think, yeah, you're totally right. That this is like rough code, and then I'm going to come back and make it cleaner. So let's just double check this again. And I'm going to just run this and make sure I haven't borked the whole system. Gonna turn these off so I don't have to fight with them every time. Boom! Turn that one off apparently, and so on and so forth. Okay, so pattern is property. So pattern is job. So it's got job properties. What just happened here? Pattern properties. Where's pattern? What am I fucking looking at here? So pattern. Where's the pattern? Oh, I've broken it now. It should have properties. It should have tons of properties. Fuck. Okay. All right. What have I broken here? What have I broken? So. Oh man, let's try again. Might have done too many changes. So there should be a ton of properties for this. So I'm clearly screwed up something in the property section. Okay, I'm gonna do the highly efficient way of just undoing some shit until things start to work again. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like it's all kind of getting a little bit janky here. So pattern. Okay, so it's got properties now. The job posting. That looks correct. I'm sorry. And then in here, property def is, so it's got that is right. It doesn't have any properties. Okay. So that got us farther down the road. right? So this is what is property def. Property def has got the node. It's got no properties. It can be value of. It can be value. So this can be a Boolean. Hey Corey, how's it going? How's it going, Corey? All right. So we're gonna want to do this. We're gonna want to say if property def exists, then we're gonna want to process it.
Hey, it's CR0 bit.
CR0 bit. Welcome. Welcome to the show. So if that exists, then in here we're going to need to basically so we can do a really rough thing like this. We can just take our HTML and we can basically just do this. Property name is, where's property name? How do I get property name from? Oh, it's property. I think we're gonna put that in there just for now, right? So remember we added the schema prop thing, CRE0 bit. Okay, so let's see what that's gonna do. We don't need this anymore, and then this is just a lot of stuff that I can probably just delete for now. Right, and then we can register our block pattern like this, right? So we have a pattern name. So I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna clean up some of this code. Sorry, because I don't think anything I wrote before is gonna really stand up here because it's junk, and Kevin didn't write it. All right, so what we're doing here is we're gonna loop the properties to create the pattern. So we're gonna go through the properties. We're gonna get the type, property def, and then we're gonna patterns property, and then we can probably get better information out of property def here. So let's see what we have in here that we can use a little bit better. So property def looks like what? It's got the node. We can. So what is property actually showing up as here? Property, where? It's property. So we can just use that. So that's the property. So this is going to show up. We're going to put a paragraph tag in here right now with a schema prop attribute, and just that's the text, right? Teach your bot to say Croy bot challenge. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. So then we're going to put the title in here, and then we're going to put the HTML in here, and we'll just see. Let's see what this does. I don't know. We're going to see. So now if I come into job posting and I look at my patterns, I should have a buttload. So this is my job posting pattern. Schema unit, job mean to start, job benefits. So this is clearly not like, what we want. These are all paragraph blocks. But we could do things like, so then if we look at this again, actually the code editor, you can see, why is that not adding that? Schema prop property. Did I plunk in the variations? Oh. Schema prop. I think I have to register that extra prop. I don't think that's really what we're gonna. I think it's being stripped out because there's no actual prop or attribute that's been added. I think that's why that's happening. So at this point, I mean, I'm still not completely convinced that my looping thing is working right. But let's see. Let's see. All right, let's get into this a little bit more. So I'm gonna switch over. Not to that. What's my build doing? So do I have a block? What's my webpack doing? All right, we'll just turn webpack back on. So we I'll just go ahead and npm start for now. Just gonna hide that. So this should bring in our variation. It's gonna do a bunch of stuff. We're registering some variations. This schema builder, we're gonna plug in controls, and then oh, here we go. Add schema attribute. So we're gonna add schema prop, schema type. Interesting. I forget why we did it that way. We did it that way. Let's reload. What is this? Build open stream. Okay. What? Why is that yelling at me? Where am I trying to open that? Block JSON? Maybe? Okay, well, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Did I not? Oh, that's what I want to do. That's what I need this. I need to enqueue that stuff. Let's do that. And I don't need to enqueue any of the block stuff. So I'm going to get rid of... I'm going to go... Instead of using my webpack, I'm just going to point my build to, or my start to variations index JS. Right. Okay, I'm gonna start my build process again. That should just solve the problem. There we go. So build. Actually, don't even need this source directory right now. Boom, 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 boom. That is kind of working. That's my heavy metal singing voice, guys. Just want you to know that. Okay, so let's go into patterns. Let's go to uncategorized patterns. Click on this ridiculous thing. See what the sidebar gives us. Does sidebar give us anything? Is this actually loading? What is going on? Let's see. Zoom. Console. I don't see any errors. Sources. Let's look. In my... Oh, I don't think it's actually enqueuing anything. That's super fun. Okay, build very... there's no build. Oh no, it's index. That's why. That'll do it every single time. Every single time. 60% of the time, it won't work all the time. There we go. That's it. Obviously, that doesn't need the extra trailing slash. Refresh. Sets the browser. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. There we go. Click on the thing. Where did I put the schema builder? Did I put that somewhere? I don't even remember what I built last time. Yeah. What's this? Add schema attributes. Okay, so that's fine. Variations. Register plugin. Block edit. Oh, it's sort of like, so if I put a group block in here, right? Should have schema goes here. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. So then in our patterns, do the uncategorize, find the ridiculous long pattern over here, insert it, grab that, and come over here, and let's see. Now, does it have my, it does have my schema prop. Perfect. Okay, so the schema prop is right there. So this is basically going to give us paragraph paragraph tags, paragraph blocks for each thing. Right? So I mean, we could do some cool. Actually, here's something that we could do is I'm just gonna do this. I was just thinking. So in our pattern def, right, we'll be able to get access to essentially the property. Right, so we'll be able to know if it's like, okay, so let's just do this. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So my idea, small deal, is if we refresh this in a property def, we have the node, we can see the type. So the type is of type property, right? So if it was of type, say, class, we could, maybe what we could do is we could wrap it. We could introduce a group block. And that makes it a little bit more complicated because then we have to group all the stuff that goes inside of that accordingly, right? But it's possible to do that. We could then build that out, right? Because the nested block parts is going to be hard. That's going to be interesting. So what is this? Includes. Okay. But what would that look like? How would that look? You know what? Let's register a pattern category. I wanna do that. Register block pattern. So the block in our handbook will go in the register block pattern. Register block. So we'll look at that pattern. There must be a second one that we have to look at. There we go. Register block pattern category. So we're going to add a little block pattern category in there. I'm assuming this will be on, I guess, the init method, which is kind of okay. So I'm just going to do this at the top right here. Right. This is going to be called Schema. And this will be Schema. Right. And this is, I don't know what our, let's leave that off for now. So now we should have, we'll register the block category for this. And now we should be able to in our register block pattern, we should be able to put categories. It's an array. So down here, we should be able to go title, description, which we need a better description for. And then we should go categories in an array, and we will just put in here we'll put schema. That should plunk all that stuff, and we'll do the proper syntax for PHP. And I think now we come back in here and we refresh this. Should, I think, our patterns, we should have schema. So in here we've got our schema patterns. Right, so now like we don't have as many. It's just this Kevin is a guy. Right, so we can do that. So why is property def yelling at me here? That's why. Okay. So at this point, what are we doing? What are we doing at this point? Paul, need your help, Paul. Need you to tell me, Paul. Also, someone actually said something from Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, we're over here on the old Twitcheroo if you're interested. For joining us for the chat. There's some stuff going on in chat. Not a ton. All right, so we got a paragraph. So how do we, I think at this point we need to figure out we need to get through the sort of, we need to get down to the details of this particular property, right? So there's more work that needs to be done here. Like we need to determine the type of block that represents this. Property. this item, right? If it contains simple types like a string, simple types, we can assign a block, like a paragraph block, right? What else are we gonna paragraph block? If it is a class, it contains other properties. Should it be a group block? Or do we register a pattern? Oh, here's another approach, actually. Instead of trying to do all the things, what if we registered individual patterns for each thing? So, like a job posting is made up of a bunch of other stuff, right? So a job posting is, but if maybe what we want to do is have all the groups. I'm trying to think. What's the best way to do it? Okay, let's back it up. So here's the thing. So job posting is going to be is probably the best thing to do is make it a group, right? Yeah, my head hurts. Paul. This is your fault. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to assemble this in the block editor or the site editor, because we don't necessarily need to build an entire pattern for the whole thing. Maybe what we need to do is build a pattern for each sort of entity. So if there's in the example of this employment unit, right? So let's look up schema. There's a way of getting there, I think. Schema is like employment unit, right? Employment unit. I did not spell that right at all. Unit. We'll get there. Employment unit. So if we look at, I don't know, is it in here? I guess. So if we look at employment unit, so we can look at this. Its value is expected to be an organization, right? So an organization ends up with all of this stuff. So I'm wondering if that's the better way of doing it, right? And then, for example, this, like, if we, this area served, it can be literally an administrative area, a geo shape, a place, or some text. So how do we, and then administrative area can be any number of these things, because it also inherits from this stuff, right? So it inherits all this stuff from place. So that's where things are going to start. It's like this massive recursive, this recursive issue of like how do we make it work, in the sense of like, maybe what we need to do is just Paul just keeps saying yes to everything. I love it. Let's do it. So maybe we just take anything that's not a simple value, create a group. No. Maybe take anything that's not a simple value and make it a group, and then make a pattern based on that group, right? Maybe is that how we do it? Paul, I don't know what you're saying yes and no to. If you're just being silly. Maybe provide start the primitives. So what we need to basically do is just insert blocks that are represented by primitives. All right. So, okay. So if we have a property, okay, so this is far too simple. So I think what we need to do is inside of this we need to let's do a loop, I guess. So some properties will need choices to select which type. Yes, no, I know, but I mean we need to there's so many things that need to be done. We need to figure out the best way to make this user friendly, and also abstract out the schema stuff, because it's not going to be very helpful for them, in my opinion, to do this, to insert like where is it, like insert something like this. Clearly this is not what we're going to be inserting, but like it's going to be like these names will mean nothing, so they need to be hidden. But if it's like something that's like title, like what's schema title? If we look at schema title, like right here. So this is perfect. So if it's a property of title, then it can only be text. Yeah, right? Right. So property title. So let's okay, so this is only in job posting. So we're gonna go property. So let's get the properties. So I'm just gonna jump into this and just kind of see. Okay, so what's the property def? Property is employment unit. So we jump to the next one. This is job needed start, job benefits, responsibilities. I'm just looking. You know what? I'm gonna make this much easier. I'm gonna say property. Property is equal schema. I think it's title. Right, I'm just gonna refresh this. So if I come in, reload. It said reload. Schema title. So the property def should look like this. It can be a value for schema text. This, I want to change the name of this because this is not what it is. So what this is like, basically, if we look at schema here, so this is how I want to try to map. This is not working. This is not working. What I want to try to do is match that, like, so this is like, so this can be represented by text, right? So what I think we should say, I'm going to change this from, so this is properties of this thing, and this is types, expected types, possible types. Maybe we'll do that, possible types. So it can be one of those. So I'm just going to change that right now because it's messing with my brain. And this is going to be, I'm going to just replace this. Replace can be value of with possible allowed types. Allowed types. Bam, 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 bam. Done. Save, right? Possible types, yes. So that's what that is. Okay, so now we're gonna come back over here, get in here. So in our property def, we've got its properties, which are none, and its allowed types is basically schema. So so if we then look up the allowed types, okay, so let's do this. So if we have a property def, we're gonna then look up the allowed types, right? So allowed. So we're gonna loop. It's always gonna be an array. So we're gonna say for each property def allowed types as type. And I guess so. Why am I looping this? So I guess what we need to know is let me look at this type here. Is there a way of knowing if text is like a primitive? Oh my god, what? Wait, what is this? Oh, okay. So instance of text may appear as a value for the following property. So that's okay. That kind of freaked me out there for a second. And what is the allowed types in there? I want the name of the allowed type. I think it was what, schema text. I'm gonna look that up in here. Where's the schema? Schema text. So there's only 215 of them. That's annoying. What I want to find is just like its actual definition, because we look that up. Oh my God, there's so many of them. I'm never gonna find this. Like, what I want to see is its like definition. Is it part of something? Like, is there a primitives class or something? Like more specific data types. URL plus thing. Okay. Because if we have a list of like basically the kind of what is this? Schema text. Is this? I'm just there. Okay. So, like, what I'm thinking is like we should probably have a defined list. Like, if we just had like, I don't know, list, like primitive types, right? And it's an array, and it would be like schema text, right? Is there like a schema? There must be like a schema number. Right, like those lists. Like if we had like schema.org text, then we'd have like number, right? There's a number data type. Like there's integer. Like, I think primitives don't have sub property. Like Boolean. How many things? There's so many, and but it could also be true or false. Okay, so let's see if we can find like schema Boolean in here. Maybe there's not as many of them. Not with a slash though. Oh yeah, there's only 38. Okay, so let's pan through until I find the class definition of that. It's got to be a better way of doing this. I'm just gonna, gotta be getting close. Gotta be getting close. Getting close. There it is. Schema is a data type. Huh. Okay. So maybe that's what we can do. Wait a minute. Okay, so we should be able to look up. Okay, so this is, I think, what we might be able to do. Let's look and see. Okay, so that if there's a schema data, if the result, where am I? If this in the type contains schema data type, then we know that we can stop. Look at. So are these the data types? So these are the data types that are like that we can know, right? So I think maybe the most robust way of doing this is looking for that type in the @types thingy, right? So we're in here. So, okay. So if we have our allowed types, does this yelling me because it's empty? Yeah, it's empty. Okay. So now what we can do is we can say we're going to get type def, right? And then we're going to go from patterns. We should be able to get type, right? We should be able to get type in there, right? This is why I wanted to do this, so we could have these things, right? And then I'm just going to say echo whatever. I'm just gonna just so I can add a breakpoint here, or I'm just gonna say if type def. Because I want to see what type def is. If. Oh my lord! Come on, man. Type def, and then we'll just do that. And I'll drop a breakpoint here. I want to edit this breakpoint. Just make sure we're in the same place, though. So schema's title. Jump. And then in here, add conditional breakpoint. Like that. Save it. Run it. Come back over here. Let's see. So we got if property def, right? Cool. Property def is what? What's pattern is? Okay. So we're gonna jump into the next one. So type def. What does type def look like? So this is gonna have. It's got allowed types. Okay, and it's gonna be. Okay, cool. So then in here we've got schema data type and RDFRS. Okay, so that's cool. So now we can say. If type def, like this, to do it. How did I do it before? I think I did it like with this, right? Oh no, I think it's single. And I go, if type def at type. Is that how I did it? I can't remember. I have to look at the syntax up here somewhere. Yep. Oh no, I put this like that. Weirdo syntax. If type def type. Okay, so it may not be an array. This is the thing, right? So if, I guess, is array. So we'll just start with this, right? So if it's an array, we want to basically say, we want to check. Okay, so if it's an array and, what is it? Array key exists. And array key exits, and the key that we're looking for is schema data type. Copy that value, right? If it's schema data type, then that means, I think what we can do is make an assumption that, like, why is this yelling at me? Expected to, oh, I need the key. I need this. Okay, this is bugging me. Okay, so what is the key is the other way. Okay, so let's do that. It's like this. Right. So what this is going to check is it an array, and then why is this fucking stop? This is yelling at me now. Type found, object found, array numbers probably allowed types array. Oh, no. Type def patterns type. What I need to access is the node. It's the node that I'm looking. Oh, come on. Pretty sure it's the node that I want to access. That should be why that's yelling at me. Because on the node, we want to get the type. What? Okay. We're going to say this should be like echo is a primitive. Right? I think that's what I want. And I'm going to go, we're going to test it. Come in here. So, what's this thing? You know what? I think I need to do that. So, let's see. So, type def. Node, which is a class, which is going to give us the type, and that'll give us an array of schema data type. So we should get into there. Boom. Oop, we didn't get into there. Huh. that's strange. Okay. So what's failing there? Let's see. So is array, type def, node, type. So that is an array. An array key exists, schema colon data type. Where? There's an extra comma. Where? Oh, that's from a few minutes ago. Okay, so oh, it's not a key. Ugh, that's the key. Array. I think I need the value. Array value exists. PHP. I think, is it in array? It is an array. God, it's like, what's my first day? In array, right? Right? Mixed needle array is the haystack. So that should be what I want. So I'm looking for this inside of this. Why? Why are you? Why? What's this? What is this? Oh yeah, true. It's a strict comparison. Okay, cool. Let's try it again. You know music's playing. Hey, look, I'm seeing it. You can't hear that music? It's just low. When you want me to turn it up, Kev? You want your old man ears to hear it more? There we go. All right, let's try this. It is low. I put it on low purposefully. Okay, cool. So let's try this again. So I'm going to run this. This should get me into that primitive. Oh, okay, so now we're in the primitive. Beautiful. So now what does this mean? So we're in the primitive. So, I mean, these primitives are going to be represented by what? Like, date and time is... In the block editor, the only thing we really have is text, right? So unless we're going to build out something that's different, it's probably safe to be able to just like plunk these in, right? Like put all of these inside of a paragraph block. So I think that's safe, right? Right? I'm gonna just like for now make all primitives paragraph block paragraph. So then we can take our HTML, right, that we were doing here. We're gonna add that, okay? I think that's what we do it, right? So for each property def, okay? So then, okay, we're gonna put, oh, come on, man. Let's go a little bit further. Okay, so I think that's it. Yeah, no, I know. Yes, Paul, I completely get that, but there's no interface for a date time, right? We will need a date time picker, but where does that go? That'll have to go into the sidebar somewhere. So we're into another level of complexity, right? That's the thing, right? That's what's getting a little bit, right? So, okay, so we're gonna, yeah. So, but I mean, like, the right place to put a date time picker is not in the block. That's in the inspector controls in the sidebar. So we're gonna need like a block variation maybe, and maybe that's all we have to do is put a block variation in, which is, you know, a cool idea. So like job description, right? So this is a variation that we've put in. So we have job description. So maybe we can, like there's no like what we need to be able to do is, because essentially it's going to be a paragraph block anyways, right? And so we're gonna have to like conditionally add basically maybe based on schema prop type or something, like I'm not sure, right? So then the schema prop is going to be I guess it's going to be type in here. It's going to be type, right? I think. Like inspector controls are going to be a secondary issue because what we'll need to do is basically maybe assign the type, and then property def. So I think this is property. I think that's what needs to go in there. So we're going to go through the allowed types. Yeah, block variation. Well, think of a block variation as no, it's not a custom block. So a block variation allows you to do a couple of things. So like, no, it's not a custom block. It's a variation of a core block in the sense of like being able to, like, if you want, like, so for example, here's the block variation that we put together for the job description. So it's a core paragraph block, but we're setting the name to something slightly different, right? We're presetting the title of the block, and we're adding some attributes. So you can use variations to augment existing blocks in the sense of like add another. To the user, what it looks like is it looks like this. So like we have paragraph and we have job description. Same block, but it gets some things different. And you can do things like you can preset values on it. So like the embeds block is done that way, or you can add brand new values like the advanced query loop block. It's a query loop variation that adds some things, and then you just have to have this ability to like, so it knows what is what, pretty much. But the user does for that, and you can actually change the icon. Like you can make it look like its own block, but it's not strictly a custom block. It inherits all of the stuff that it's a variation of. So if someone made a change to the paragraph block, the job description block would get all of those things too. You can, but you have to have a separate filter. Like, so for example, like this. A better example is the advanced query loop. Let me just show you that. So this is a plugin that I use. So in our controls, what I'm doing is I am registering a block variation for the core query block. I'm giving it its own name, a title, description, its own icon. It's active. This is based on this namespace thing. So this is saying that if the namespace, right, Bad Dude Court, thanks for hanging out. Catch you later. This basically is saying if this namespace attribute exists and it's the same as what I'm defining here, then the block that's on the block that's in the block editor, Gutenberg knows that this is that variation. And then in my controls, I'm doing this. So what I'm doing here is I have this is advanced query loop helper function that checks to make sure that this is the advanced query loop block, and if it is, it's going to add all of my controls. And if it's not, it's just going to return the regular controls. So use a secondary filter to do that stuff. It's because it basically is a well let's check. I'm pretty sure if we unregister this variation here, let's make sure my build's right. It is. So I just deregistered that. Now if I refresh this should be okay. This is the variation, right? Save that. If I refresh this now, it's still there, but now it's just showing up as a paragraph block. But it'll still have all of the attributes and everything that you've defined for it. So for example, like we've defined this, right? So that'll still be on there. But because it's a variation, it just doesn't get those customized items, right? Okay. Good questions, Kev. You're the best. You're useful. Every time he says something, I'm always like, no, you are. Kevin! Oh, this music's so much better. I personally like it. So this is what we're going to be doing from now on. Okay, anyways, back to this. So make all primitives. Okay, so am I doing this right? So properties, so in it. Okay. So for each allowed types as type, type def is patterns. I want to run this again. I feel like this might do, I feel like I'm not adding this in the right spot. So let's see. So, okay, so let's look at, we got property def has got allowed types. There's only one. Oh, interesting. How'd that get in there? So this is a Boolean. Oh. And then, okay, so the allowed type is Boolean. So then I have type def in here somewhere. Type def is going to have the node, it's going to have the type, and it's going to have data type. And that's pretty darn cool. All right. So if I skip through that, you should be getting all, these should just be data types. All right, well let's just see what this does. Let's see how this looks, because all I'm doing right now is just adding the primitives to here. So if I come into my, let me delete that. I feel like we're getting somewhere. Schema, let's see. I'm gonna open up Schema and it's gonna be, okay, so this doesn't have as many things now. So that's cool. So that's job immediate start, job benefits, responsibilities. So these are all represented by certain things. And maybe what I should do here is, instead of property, I will maybe I should get the type. Maybe that's what I want to figure out. Maybe I want to figure out what the type is. So I'm just gonna work in property here. Oops. Right. Oh no. What? This needs to be removed. All right. So we'll just run this again. Okay. So yeah. Cool. In there. So in here. So what do I have? Schema text. Type is schema text. So I can just put type, right? Type. No, text is, yes. So I will put type in here. Will I do that? I will do property, and I'm gonna and then I'll do type, so we can see what that looks like. Reload, man. Let's do this again. Patterns, Schema. Okay, cool. So this is going to be like Boolean, incent text. Okay, great. So that's cool. So I think now, like if we look at all this, we're going to have this. This needs to go. That's old stuff. So this is the group. This is the pattern. So this is schema pop. It's going to be schema immediate job start, job benefits. That's all that stuff. So that's the name. So then what we can do is we can pull the value out of whatever the value of this is. So I think we're getting somewhere. I think we're definitely getting somewhere. Okay. So this is going to be. So okay. So then I'm going to say, okay. So what do I want? So if it's not, if it falls, if it gets in here, else, we want to do something else, right? I'm just going to do this for now, and then we'll stop it in there and see what comes in, right? So then do that, and I'm going to refresh this. So what's in here? So what is the property that I'm messing with? The property here is employment unit. So the property def is, it's going to be of type organization. So, but organization. So we'll have that. Okay. So then in here. So does this become a group block then? Right? Like, do I check type for like class, or do I just add a new group block? Or do I register a new? Do I register a new pattern for that? Right. So does this become like the pattern for the like I'm not sure if do these become variations? Maybe this is a variation. Maybe instead of generating this crazy pattern, what we do is we generate a pattern, you know, decisions. This is like I'm having some decision paralysis here. Because what I'm building here is the job posting, right? So the pattern is for job posting, right? So we can do this. So maybe what I do is check for the type. What is this? Patterns. Type def. Where's type def? So the allowed types. A million allowed types inside of organization. Variation of the schema. What do you mean variation of the schema? Sorry, Paul. What do you mean by that? A schema pattern. A pattern for the entire schema? Loop back up. What do you? I mean, we're registering block patterns, right? I want block variations. That's what I want. Can you register variations of PHP? I believe we've never done that. I don't think you can. You have to do it on the JavaScript side, which is a bit no fun. Yeah. I mean, but yes. I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah. So we can go through this until we get down to the primitive. But like, for example, this type now is organization, and organization has 55 allowed types. So then we have to do that for each one. So my question is, what I'm wondering is, do we start to just build small patterns? So like anything that's a class is going to have allowed types in it, right? Or it's going to have like, so this class can be represented by any number of these, right? The organization can be represented by a sponsor or a producer or a members or merchant, right? So what I'm trying to determine is if do we want to do like a scheme, like an organization pattern, and that organization pattern goes in there, or do we want to make one giant pattern? Because if we do, we're going to need to like basically recursively loop through everything, right? Like we can, and it's not gonna. The order is going to be weird and whatnot, what have you. Why is that yelling at me? What is this yelling? After array opener. That's what we need? Okay. Yeah, like, so what this is going to look like is like, you know, so property depth, so we're going to have our HTML. So what we're going to probably have to do is open up a group block. So let's open up just a group block like this, right? We'll put that in there. Okay. This is, we'll just put that like that, and this like this, right? I'm going to stop that for now. So we're going to have this. So this is going to be a group block, and it's going to start with, I guess, type. All right, so plunk that in. Right, so we'll put type in, and then we can literally just, I'm just going to put heading in, this header in for now, just for visual reasons. We'll put that in there, and then we'll just put type, right? And then what we'll have to do is like process the properties, right? And then we're gonna like close the group block. Right, so we can do something like this. Right, so I'm just gonna hard code. Oh, come on now. The end of the group block, which will look, I guess, just something like that. All right, we'll do that. So this should put a group in now. I haven't, obviously, we haven't processed the inner stuff. We go into schema. Ooh, broke something. What's this? Okay, what did I break? Oh, that's what I broke. All right, so we got this group block now. Let's refresh that. All right, so let's go to job posting. Oh, it's still broken. It's broken. Let's see. I'm sure I've done something stupid. Console. Oh, I didn't. Did I not? I didn't close the. That's why I didn't close the heading tag. Let's do this properly. I didn't close heading tag. That's what broke it. Okay, so that should be good now. So we have our heading tag, and then there'll be whatever the content, and then we're going to close the group. I just want to get this working. Seems better. Oh, still not working. Why? What the hell? Is it double missed or something? Or group block. Okay. I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to place that to the end of the H2. I'm going to delete HTML, and I'm going to delete this. And then if this works, if that works, we can split that back out. Do some weird stuff. weird that it's not. Oh. Oh, I'm an idiot. Hold on. I'm an idiot. I don't think I've even I don't think I opened up the I didn't open up the I didn't open up the schema prop. The heading block. I think that's what my problem is. Oh my lord. I'm just gonna grab this whole thing. I'm gonna replace this thing and I'm gonna fix it properly. There we go. So I don't care about that's fine. I don't need this schema prop. Don't need that. I'm just gonna put type in here. I'm gonna get rid of HTML because we don't need that. This is just bad copying and pasting on my part. My bad. So let's try this again. That looks better. Okay, so we got schema organization, right? And then we've got all these things. So these are groups. This should be groups, right? So we've got job posting. We've got job posting group, a whole bunch of paragraphs, group, whole bunch of paragraphs, group, whole bunch. So entire group, we've got nothing. We just got the heading, which represents whatever the thing is. So at this point, I need to basically close the div at this point. So I X that out and I put this back. This should close the group block. And then we shouldn't have any issues here still. Oh yeah, we are very much in the weeds. Okay. All right, so that seems to still work. That's great. So it's these things that we need, right? So in here, we need to now process the properties of. So in type def, for each, because we're in like each type def, and this is going to be. We're gonna have to look at type def again because I think it's going to be properties. Well, properties. It's basically going to be this again. So this is where the recursion stuff comes in as right. We need to process all of this stuff again. Right. So we're now at the point where I'm just like I'm going to be copying and pasting a bunch of stuff and renaming, which is so dumb. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. Type def properties. This is going to be as I guess inner property. I can't remember who it was, if it was through new error or bad dude court, but this is where like recursion and like splitting out these functions is definitely going to be a smart thing. So in here we're going to go inner, right? Inner type def, right? And then this code. I'm just going to put that code in there, right? So then we're going to use inner type def, inner type def, inner type def. We're going to go patterns as inner property. So the inner property. What is this? Oh yeah. So and then type. What's type? Where'd type come from? We'll see what this does. I don't know what this is gonna do. This might be just borked. But if we can get this recursiveness happening, I think the next step is I'm gonna look at getting some of this other stuff happening. So I don't think that necessarily worked. So I think in here we need to start adding some of this stuff. So let's start listening and we'll do this. Okay, so HTML. Okay. So else HTML, we're going to start the block, jump to the next one. So what is this? So inner property is schema has offer catalog. All right, and then I'm going to just drop that in there. I have a feeling that's going to not hit there. It didn't. Sponsor. Inner type def. Where's inner type def? Inner type def. It's going to have a node. It's going to have a type. So skip through it. Events. I think I'm doing something wrong here, because oh wait, I think I'm doing this wrong. I think this logic's incorrect. So the properties of, okay, so if type def, okay, so then what I want to do is I want to go through type def properties, right, as inner property. I don't, okay, I want to see, does that exist? Like, does anything get one? Let's see if anything actually gets one here. Let's see. I don't think anything's actually getting plunked in there. I think all my groups are empty. Yeah, look all like they're all empty. So something's not doing that right. So that's fine. Okay. So I think what we can do is I'm gonna just do this because I want to get into this point. And disable that, disable that, disable that, disable that. Okay. And I'm going to get into here. So let's see what this does. So I run this now. Okay, so that means it's not a primitive. So what that means is that the property is employment unit. So type def at this point is schema. So then we got the type def properties. It's going to be a lot of this stuff. So let's take that one out. We'll jump in. I can remember it's there. No. Okay, I'm gonna restart this. And then we're gonna reload. Okay, so then deployment unit. So inner type. Type def's not initialized yet. But patterns, inner property, patterns. Okay, I need basically an empty if statement or something at this point. And we'll do that. We'll just stop. Just gonna stop at this point. And rerun that. Over here. Oh. I done 211. So unexpected. Jump through, so inner type def looks like this. The node is offer has catalog. It's got property, so it's Okay. So this is all going to fail, right? In this case, because this is not. I need. What am I doing here? I need an F. Right. So if why the hell is this yelling at me? What is it? Exactly one space. So annoying. Okay, so this is gonna fail. So this stuff will mean, okay, so then, so the else part of this needs to be the recursive part. This need recursive to do this. And this is essentially the part that I'm in now. The outer loop needs to do the same thing. Note for later, I feel like we should have a default list of elements to include in each schema. Don't include them, but I'll allow the hidden skip to be added if we wanted. Yes. Is there any case of it? I wonder if there's any way that it's an array, but it's let's run this again. I'm just wondering, like, if we get to this point in, like, so type def, no, not type, inner type def, right? Excuse me. It's not initialized yet. Why do I have that going? I want that one. So the inner type def is going to be somewhere. Still not initialized. Comments. We'll turn that one off. So inner type def is. And the node type is property. Is there ever a case where it's an array? These are all properties, which is fine. But I mean, they can be, I guess, represented by. So this can be. So I have to look at allowed types, don't I? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing wrong here. So inner. I need this. Okay. I need this for each. It's going to be inner property allowed types as inner type. So bad. This is just so bad. Inner type. So this whole thing needs to be wrapped in that. So that's the thing that I'm missing, right? So this is going to be each property. I'm going to get inner property, right? The allowed types of each inner. Is this because it's okay? Scroll. And then then I'm gonna put all this inside of there. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Is that else? That sounds okay. I think that might be getting closer to what we want. Oh, and there's of course errors. 210. Where's that error coming from? 210. Type def. Where's type def? Type def properties as inner property. Okay. Oh, alright, okay. Oh, this is. type is organization. Okay. Okay, so then what I need to do is do this. I need type def. I need type def. And that type def is going to be this. That should give me, I think, what I need. Still not quite there. So let's get into here and let's just see what this stuff gives us. Okay, so for did that. So type, okay, type def as inner type is inner type. Inner type is sponsor. So then I'm gonna look for inner type def is gonna be patterns inner type. So I need to get to the next one. So inner type def is somewhere. It's going to be node, it's going to be type, it's going to have properties. So that seems right so far. Right? So this is never going to be an array. So stick on. I'm going to get rid of those because I don't think I need these. Sender, these are all properties. I still think that maybe there's some issues with because I'm seeing properties and I'm seeing allowed types and I'm not seeing them in here. I'm just skipping through this and none of this. These are all properties. Which is totally fine, but I don't know. Alumni of, that would probably be it's organization. I don't think it ever gets. Okay. Like that's doing the group, but it's not putting anything else in, and that's where this is starting to fall apart. I don't know why it's falling apart the way it is. Is it a problem with my data? I wonder if I change this from data allowed types to okay. So let's look in what is it? Schema estimated salary? property's estimated salary. So let's look at the property def at this point. Is allowed types, properties. So this is clearly not right. It's clearly not correct. So the node domain includes. Wait, am I looping this still? No, I'm not. So this is clearly not right. God damn it. Okay. So where's estimated salary now? So it can be these three things. So I need to be able to get at these three things. So I gotta figure out why the hell this is not looping this correctly. So dumb. Okay. Where I just lost my browser. There it is. Okay. So we're kind of back to the drawing board up here again. This is super awesome. Okay. I mean, we've got the node. Maybe I just need to work on the node. Maybe that's just what I need to grab. Right, but it's nice to have the properties and everything available to it. So if I come up here, if it's got two items in domain includes, right? And it's an array. I think this is getting screwy. So domain includes means things that it'll okay, so we got ID is that. So node, do we have node in here yet? Node. Okay, so in here I've got domain includes two items in my domain includes, and I got job posting and I got schema occupation. So what does domain includes mean? It means it is okay. So range includes are the things that it can be. So if range includes is an array, I feel like this should be I feel like this should be ID. Okay. So patterns at this point is patterns. There's a lot of shit in there. Salary. So these are the three things that estimated salary can be represented by, right? So this needs to be range ID is not what we want. We want it to be ID in here, and in here, and in here, and then we want to put the allowed types has the range ID in there. That's what I want. What I just done there. So okay, so this needs to go in here because the ID is the thing is estimated salary, right? So we want estimated salary to know what it can be represented by. So that's the problem that we're running into there. So this, I think we may have fixed that particular problem, but I don't really know. We'll see. So I run this, I'm going to step through that, I'm going to step through that, I'm going to get down here. So what is it? That's not a good place. The job posting. And then property job, it's property, estimated salary. Okay. So its allowed types are monetary distribution amount. It's a number. Okay. Oh, I'm losing steam a little bit on this. I gotta put some more thought into this and make this a bit cleaner. This is interesting. What have I done here? Oh boy, lots of okay. Okay, all right. I think I need to call it. I'm starting to see cross-eyed a little bit here, and I think some drying up of the code will make this a little bit easier, because I'm clearly adding groups. This is. I think I might have fixed the issue down here now. Like if I go here and I stop it on if I stop it where am I? Sorry, if I just go like basically here and where are my breakpoints? All right. And I refresh this. I'm going to disable that for now. Gone through, disable this for now. Disable her. Okay, so what is this? So schema citation. So if I look at citation here, if I go citation. Right, so a citation can be represented by. I think that this is what I need to. Oh my God, where did that thing go? There it is. I think what I need to do is make sure that this is correct, right? So it can be either creative work or text. So if I look in the pattern, see allowed types, it says creative work and text. That looks really correct to me, and it can be used on creative work, which makes sense. So okay, and it has no property. So let's step on through to the next one. So creative work, for example. Let's go type creative work. All right, I think this is very important that we do this right. So the creative work has a ton of properties. Does it tell you what it can be represented? Oh, and these are the things that it can be. Oh, those are more specific types. Can you see more by doing this? So properties, it's got no allowed types, and it's got 114 properties. Okay, cool. So far, so good. Next one is dated money specification. Interesting. Dated money specification. Oh, spell that wrong. Oh no! Get out of here. see what this is. So this term has been superseded. Interesting. Okay. So, all right. So maybe there's some stuff we need to do in there. Content size. Domain includes. It's got a single domain include, so that should mean that the property patterns. Where is this? We should have. So this looks wrong. Schema text. No, it's got one. Schema text, and the other one's got schema median object. So the property. Size. Okay, so it's content size can be text, which is true, and it can be part of. So this is allowed types, right? Text, and used on these types. So it has no properties. Okay. Okay, so that's probably fine. It's weird that domain includes is there. The domain includes used for different things? God, that would be super annoying if it did. So this has got nothing, so yeah. Okay, so that's also got nothing. The domain includes, has offer catalog. So it has a single. That seems like these domain includes. I don't know what it is. Has offer catalog. So this. Oh, so it's used on these types. So it's used for these types. I wonder if I just have a fundamental misunderstanding of how this is supposed to be working. Go. So these are all the properties. But I have a feeling that lowercase drug and uppercase drug are two different things. Like as a property. Like if there's an uppercase, because there's also uppercase drugs. And what is this? It doesn't have any properties here. It doesn't include property, patterns. Oh, what's going on there? Ha, alright. At least the allowed types are getting right? So schema drug can be an allowed type of drug. That's what it can be expected of as. Okay, so property. Okay. Okay, so that seems to be relatively correct, right? And then, but maybe what I need. Maybe that's all I need. Maybe we just need what the allowed types of the thing is. So then so this schema drug, if it's a property, if it's a. So this is already this is a property? Is this, what is this?
Right, it's Drayson.
Oh! About time. Okay, so domain, so we look at property here. The type of property gives us range includes, which is related to a property to a class that constitutes one of the expected types. So we figured that out. So the allowed types is range includes. Domain includes is like, where can this be used? Right? So it's not what does this get represented by, it's where is this allowed? right? And so relates a property to a class that is one of the types the property is expected to be used on. So do we need that? So I'm wondering if we just don't even really need it at that point, because like well, how do we get so drug? So then drug becomes like basically, so then we have to iterate through. So for example, like schema drug. If we go into drug here, not F drug. Go into drug, right? We can see what it can be. So it's represented as one of these things, and then this is like active ingredient is of type text. Do we need the properties? Do we care about the properties? Because it doesn't really even tell us what the properties are. So like, if we look for drug, let's look for drug here. We can do schema, if we can find the tab. Is that it? Schema, drug. Like, what does it have in its definition here? Here we go. So it's a class. Is there more than one like that though? That's lowercase, which is part of this. So this is what is expected to be, and this is where it's allowed to be used. But this is the property drug, not the class drug. That is so weird and confusing. So the class drug, which is the uppercase, is somewhere. Where did it go? 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 Sorry, I just found it. There it is. This is a class. It's a subclass of, subclass of. But where do you get the properties of that? Substance and product. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, so if we find schema substance. Oh, I see. This is where the properties are the thing, because we have properties and they can be part of this, right? Well, there's some mapping again. So that's what I was trying to do with the properties. I was trying to loop through it, and every ID, if a class, if this thing was in it, then I needed to create that. So then I have the properties of this, and then I have the things that this is represented as. Okay, so that's. I think we still need those properties, because otherwise I don't know how we're gonna. I don't know how. Terrence, we're working on the schema builder, and you're like 3 hours late. So what do you want from me? I'm just kidding. I'm still fighting through the data part because we're trying to build patterns out. But I think this property thing. I think we need to have properties. So like schema drug should have properties, right? A TLDR is we're using schema.org to generate patterns, block patterns. That's the TLDR of it. But there's a fair amount of code that is going into it. And we're sort of working through some bugs right now at the moment. I think we've got range includes figured out. Right? I think range includes is good. I think the problem that I'm having here is domain includes. So domain includes should be, this should be slightly different than what we're doing down here. So domain includes should, okay, you know what? I'm going to do, where am I in here? I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to drug because, right? No. If I change this to drug, just because I have drugs sitting here, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start this again. Oh, cancel. Come in here. All right, so drug. So what? Oh, I'm sorry. I should drop it down here because that's actually where the breakpoint's going to be fired. So drug. Okay. So then now the pattern is got properties, right? All this stuff. Now, is this accurate? Maybe this is accurate and allowed types. So I think that might be accurate. Right, so let's look at drug. So drug has got, okay, so that's not super helpful. So what do we got over here? So, okay, so, oh, schema maximum intake. So if we look at the properties, we should have a maximum intake in here somewhere. So where it is, maximum intake. Okay, so we are getting the properties for that particular thing. So then what we need to do, okay, so I think that's actually right. I think we're getting the patterns, right? And then the allowed types, that doesn't matter because drug doesn't have an allowed type, right? It just has all of these properties in it. Haha! Haha! That's getting us closer. So the node, so this is an RD, whatever. This is a class. So I'm wondering if classes should become the group. I wonder if every class should become its own variation. Not variation. Group or pattern. You know? So a class, because a class is going to be, so this is our drug class, right? And it's going to be made up of all of these things. And it could be either a simple text for active ingredient, or it could be a variable strength for drug strength, which is going to be one of these types, which gets recursive down into this own thing, right? Because this must be a class in and of itself, right? I'm wondering if that's how we have to do this, right? So a property is applied to a class somehow. So these are all the properties that appear. So set active ingredient or active ingredient. These should, I wish these were right. Administration route, like these are, okay, so, okay, active ingredient, okay, cool. So we have the properties of that particular thing. Okay, so I think we're getting the data right. So if I change this to schema, drug, not grug, drug. All right, now refresh this. Back over here, does this give me a different thing? So drug. So the pattern it has no properties. But it appears in drug. So that's cool. Okay, so what if we did this? Let's stop this. Okay, so I think. Okay. Only okay, classes, RDSF, whatever that's the RDSF class types are going to be patterns, right? So if we're in here and we look at pattern node, we can get type right there. Right, so we can say, so what we'll do is we'll get pattern, we'll get the types equals pattern. We'll go, come on now. Node. Right, and then this is going to be a single arrow with a thing, and one of these. It's going to be one of these, wherever that is, like this. Right, node, and it's going to be type. So we're going to pull the type out of there. Right? So that's going to be the types. Okay, and then so let's look and see what types looks like. Right, so we'll push this. So types are going to be RDF property. So then we can say if type, we'll say if type is not equal to let's copy the value. I think it's class, so it's not going to be that. We want this to be class. Right, we don't need that. We don't need that. Right, so then we should be able to continue. So this isn't even going to get in here unless type is a class. Right, because I think that's what we need to register the patterns for. Ooh. How about broken? The internet? Yes, let's go type RDF property. Oh, wait a minute. Of course, where's my stupid tab? It's gotta be RDFS class, so that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so it's an S at the end, RDFS class, RDFS class. Okay, so let me stop that. I gotta start. Yeah. So this is automatically gonna stop putting up things that aren't classes, right? So I should be able to jump into here. There we go. So we're in a class. So what is this? Creative work. Pattern is node. It's class. So this is now where our patterns. Now we can start building out patterns, right? I think that's what we got to do. Because we don't need a pattern for each individual piece, each individual property, because those properties don't matter until they're inside a class, right? Until they're sort of managed by a class. Okay, so that's where we're at. So now if I jump into the next one, right? Well, how far will that go? I'm just gonna right, because that's probably not going to be right. Okay. So in here, so we got property, we got property def. What does property def look like? Array, citation. So then we're going to get all the properties. Okay, that's feeling better. Allowed types can be creative work or text. Okay, so now we got a bunch of patterns. So drug class, therapeutic procedure, patient. So there's some things in here we got to figure out what that is. You probably there's 900 of these now, which is hilarious. But if we were to pull in like a creative work, you can see, look, these are all the properties that are allowed on creative work. So I think we're getting closer. If we do a pattern for what is it? Like monetary amount. that looks like this. So these are the schema. So the value. So there's a couple of items in here. Valid through. Oh, okay. So we're getting some duplicate. So got to figure that out. They created can be up to. Okay. So I think in the nesting in here for each property. So there's definitely some nesting that needs to happen in here, but I think this is the better approach. I think this is a much stronger approach, right? So for the patterns, we only want to get a class, and then we start building out the interior stuff from that. Would you agree? Does that make sense? I mean, there's always going to be levels of nesting that just are going to get crazy, right? But maybe we can build a pattern for each one, and then we can check. Oh, is this a class? Oh, well, then maybe there's a pattern that we can insert there. I'm not really sure how we can handle this yet. But okay. So we've effectively gotten to about the same place that we were last week. But I feel like we're still getting there. If this starts to get boring, y'all let me know, because I can we can do some other things, come back to it later. But I'm really feeling like we're getting closer to this. And then maybe what we need to do is sort of get some other start splitting this out and looking at some of these weird looping things. But it's just after 1. I should probably go eat some lunch and think about this. Do you want us to say you and it's boring? No, don't say me. I'll work on this forever. I don't care. This is great. This is fun. But if we can get this will be a big deal. Like this will be a cool thing to be able to put together, right? Because if we basically like build all these patterns and then we assemble those patterns later, that's pretty cool stuff. Lots of layers here. But if I'm boring the crap out of you, let me know. Okay. Oh, you know what? There's also something in the description that we can probably use. All right, one more thing. I want to check something out here. So I think when we're looping through the patterns, let's do this. One more thing I want to take a look at. I thought I noticed something here. So patterns, the pattern, where is it? Pattern node. There's a comment. So we can so you know what we can use? This will be cool. So we got the ID somewhere. We're gonna go. Okay, so we're gonna get the description. And we'll add this. It's gonna be a pattern. All right, so we'll do this. Come on, Ryan. And it's going to be whatever this property is called. RDSF comment. And it's going to be, oh, that's the label. Maybe we can just use the label as the title. See, this is much easier now. We're going to copy the this is going to be RDFS comment. And then I think we can just use RDSF label for the name, because we don't need to take any of that stuff out. There's an actual label for it now, which is making this much easier. And a couple of these, and type name, schema, ID. It's just trying to get rid of the ID, so we can use type name. Is going to be the oh wait, no, pattern name. I think it's got to be not. We're gonna use the lowercase for that. So we're taking the string to lower, and I'm gonna, yeah, that's fine, okay. But I'm gonna use the label for the type name, because that's what's showing up, and we're not replacing anything. What am I replacing rather? Let's use the title. I don't think I need this anymore. Oops. I do that every time. I don't think I need that title anymore at all. So I'm just going to replace title with pattern, label, like that, and try to figure out why it's yelling at me. Oh, so I'm missing a semicolon. And so now when I do this, I should get a, and then when I register the box item, it's going to be like this. should be able to get that. Let's take a quick look. Just make sure. Then, oh Lord, undefined key array. Ha! Pattern. Oh, duh. It's node. Should be node. Too used to them fat arrows. I have to do this. That's what I need to do. This music's making me happy and angry all at the same time. What? What the deuce? What? Oh, 245. I'm doing something. Why are you being like that? Okay. It's definitely this. Wait, what am I doing wrong? So node. Something doesn't look right. Can I do it that way? Oh. Maybe I can just do it like this. What the hell? You know when you just want to do like one more thing? Okay, so it's clearly an issue. Syntax error in there. Oh, this is breaking all the things now. What? Okay. Curly brace, close curly brace, open curly brace. That's right. Why is that being stupid? Why is that being stupid? And description, title. That looks right to me. And now it just works. That's super awesome and weird. Okay, schema. Oh, what? The absolute mother. What? Add language, add value? This should not be this hard. That should not be this difficult to figure out. Okay. Sounds weird. Alright, what do we got? Title. Title is where? Where's the title? Title. Create work. Description. This is right. So just before it registers, why is it breaking? Table. And the table. Title. Description. Title. Okay. I wonder if there's like, do I need to like, I wonder if it's like, oh, let's try this. Let's try that. Maybe there's weirdness going on there. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's some funky going on there with some various random pattern formatting. That. This is way too much work. Way too much work. I'm gonna put it back because I don't want to deal with this right now. Don't have any idea why it's doing what it used to do. Sure, it's going to be. I'm gonna set this back to just try to use the description. I do not feel like dealing with this crazy ridiculousness right now. There's just something that's acting up. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's super weird and it's super weird and super weird. Fucking hell. Okay. And it's because I added the description. The div component. What are we talking about? Something must be breaking something. Maybe if I escape this. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's some things in there that are just not just breaking the old Java. Oh, there we go. Okay. Is two-string a thing? No. Two-string. How do I God, string. I can't believe I can't remember this. PHP2 string. Strval, that's what I want. STRVAL. Just gonna force it. Too many brackets. Why is it a class? Why is this class? Okay, I think there's other things going on here that seems to. This doesn't make any sense. How it's 2000. I'm not skipping through. Oh. Yeah. Okay. There might be some like add examples in there or something. Maybe that's what's screwing it up. I don't understand why that would ever be anything but a string. Maybe the register block that it's not. Alright, well, I'm just gonna turn this off for now because I don't get it. Something in the data's doing something weird. Who knows, man? Who knows? Someone's done that, haven't they? All right. I'm not accepting defeat, but I'm at a point where I'm starting to see cross-eyed a little bit. And I think I need a break from this, but the idea is the sound. I think we're getting very close. We're gonna get in the weeds very, very soon. Even more in the weeds, I think. Yes, Terrence is referring to the fact that some of the controls from AQL got merged into Core, which I'm very excited about. I mean, they're not anything too fancy. They got some of those controls actually already existed in AQL, but they are in the query loop block, but they're in a weird spot. So now they're moved into a more clear place. And I just did a change to AQL to conditionally load those controls, which was kind of neat. It was based on whether the plugin was installed or whether 6.7, which it will be part of 6.7, is available. So I introduced a new slot fill, so I can just insert those things if needed. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna say bye to everybody. Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate you putting up with my snarky comments. And we're getting close. I think what we're gonna do is I think this is the right approach. I think every class needs a pattern, and then those patterns can be built up of the properties of that class. And I think that's what we need to do. Okay. That being said, you're all amazing. Most of you are amazing. There's 63% of you are amazing. And some of you are even more. Terrence, show up on time next time and stop hijacking my stream. Saying. Just kidding. You guys are all great. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you all next week, where we're going to get right back into this. And I'm probably going to be like, oh, this is the wrong way to do it. And we'll do it again. But until then, have yourself a great weekend, and later. Talk to you all later. Bye.